What's up, everybody? It's Jacob. Thanks for coming out Saturday night, 7 p.m. MST, for some AI news, views, and reviews. So a couple interesting things happened at work this week I'll get into. They're kind of important around things that you might want to know about AI, future of work, and all that kind of stuff. And the big topic of today's video, by the way, welcome to Black. So the big topic of this week's live stream is that AI agents and dark factories are going to be the biggest consumers, bigger than human consumers. And I'll show you some stats and things, some technologies that have been launching the last few weeks, a couple months, and some other things that are going to put some dots together for you in terms of how big this is really going to get. Where, you know, the question always I get asked in my comments, and I see in a lot of other AI videos, is, well, if they're going to lay everybody off, who's going to have money to buy shit, right? Well, the answer to that is AI. AI agents will have the money, and I'll show you some technologies that are emerging that are already enabling that right now, today. This is not future. It's not sci-fi. This is now. So let's check in the chat tonight, see who's here. Looks like we got a full house. And by the way, wow, I wasn't sure anybody would show up tonight after kind of what was happened last night. We had Iran kind of get a little thump in there, and it looks like they got the Ayatollah Khomeini, so he's out. And I mean, seriously, the administration is kind of giving new meaning to the word weekend warrior. Seems like every time there's a weekend, there's like we're just going to go over here and have a quick war, and then we'll come back and do all the stuff in America. So just kind of bizarre, just really crazy times we're living in right now. But anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge that and let you know that I'm aware, but I don't want to talk anymore about that. We're going to talk about AI tonight and explore some other things, get our minds off all that crazy stuff. So let's look in the chat tonight to see who's here. We got Rusty Rivers, a longtime channel member and also moderator. Thanks for coming out, Rusty. Good to see you. And we've got Lisa, another longtime channel subscriber, and Baddie Commander. Thank you for coming out, and also channel moderator. Let's see. I believe we have. I think I saw Lily. Yeah, there we are. Hey, Lily. Thanks for coming out tonight. Welcome from the UK. Thanks for staying up late, hanging out with us here on the inner tubes. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. I'm going to pull up a couple things here. Let me clean up a couple things. I reorganized a couple windows and added a few new buttons, so hopefully that won't throw me off too much here. So let me get the next thing queued up. Get my articles going. Yes, well, you don't want to see that yet. That's too soon. Let's see here. Here we go. Yes. All right. So here's what I was talking about. There's this idea. They're calling it the AGENTIC AI market now. Well, actually, let me make a distinguish something for you. A difference. There's the AI that you normally talk to, right, in ChatGPT, and now when you go search on the web, like Google, Gemini's in there. So basically there really isn't like a search engine anymore. It's all just talking to a chat bot. We have Copilot, which is Microsoft's answer to all of that. And that's the AI that you talk to one conversation at a time, put in your question, you get an answer back. But with agentic AI, those are the ones that are autonomous. They can run by themselves. I think the record now is a few weeks. Within this month, they're already going several weeks without human intervention. So imagine something working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, no rest, no relaxation, just ripping through everything. But you still have to prompt. You still have to prompt these agents, but it takes a much higher order of thinking to prompt these agents. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about that later, to how you get these things to be able to have enough information to work that long uninterrupted versus just going into a chat bot like this and typing something, right? You put your question in and within 30 seconds, you get your answer back. But with AGENTIC AI, they can go out and try and figure out a more complex problem before they even get back to human beings. So that is the market that this tweet is. Do we still call them tweets? I don't know. I have no idea. Thanks, Elon. You confused me. But yeah, so this AGENTIC AI market is poised to go from 5.2 billion, which I think is already where it's at today, which is already a staggering number, to $200 billion by the year 2034. Well past the year that everybody's saying that we'll own nothing, be happy, and have no jobs, which I think it's 2032. It's depending on who you talk to. The WEF says 2030, whatever. But yeah, it's saying key facts is going to be a 40 times growth projected in 8 years. And Gartner, which is the research company, a very well-established research firm, says that 40% of enterprise apps will have AI agents by end of 2026, up from 5% today. Excuse me. So we're already, going into the third month of 2026, and these corporations are trying to push out these agents to do a lot of the human work. And I'm going to show you some other pieces of technology that these agents can now use that will actually enable them to shop like a human being, because they need money, right? They need money. They need money to buy things. They need your money. And they also need a way to read the web, which they can do, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. The way the web is designed today, and I'll show you something that's going to be a major innovation, like when we went from browsing on the web on our desktop computers to browsing on our web on mobile phones to just having dedicated mobile apps. And that's how major this other technology, I'll show you in a minute, how much implication it's going to have. So yeah, so this, you want to see what I'm saying in here? This study is saying that AI agents can now shop across Walmart, Target, Shopify, and Etsy. Well, frankly, any website really that's got e-commerce on it. But there's a security concern, right? As usual, these things, which I'll show you in another article here. You don't want to just give an AI a wallet, right? There's got to be some guardrails around that. So I'll kind of drop a couple seeds in your ear about that. So they're saying, 94% of business leaders see AI as the biggest cybersecurity driver in 2026. That's kind of an understatement. There's all kinds of ways that AI is dangerous to business. I'm going to also have a video that was recommended by one of our viewers that's going to show how it's dangerous to children, which kind of proves something I've been talking about around AI toys and also around just like personal security. So we'll touch on that too tonight. Whoops. I need to get back here. New buttons. Sorry, guys. Glad I don't do this for a living, right? So there's this thing they're calling an agency hijacking. So attackers can manipulate agents and tools or the memory that they have directly. I won't get into like the super technical details of that, but one perfect example of that I've talked about in the past is if you take, I remember mentioning the web browsers that have AI built into them and they can read the websites. And my recommendation at the moment is do not install any web browser that has AI built into it, because the content inside the web site could actually have prompts that tell your agent to do something. And this is another danger with the online shopping. So someone could go to a website, not necessarily Walmart or Target, but it could be an Etsy store or some other honeypot that a hacker could set up and instruct your agent to do something. And if you don't have the right guardrails or the right prompts to prevent the AI doing anything outside of its task, which is very difficult to do, by the way, could be very, it could leak information about you. It could make it spend more money than you want it to, all kinds of crazy things. So let's dig a little more into this. Let me pick up another tab here. So one big thing that, as humans, when we browse the web, we see the web like this, right? We type in something, use your mouse, and you go to a website and you browse around. And now ChatGPT is saying, oh, you can shop inside ChatGPT now, and the agent can open this thing up, but it's still using the interface. It still has to look at the pictures, find the drop downs, find all the things to click, and that actually is very expensive. It takes the AI brain a lot more effort to find where all the places are to click. So a new layer is being added to the web now, to where it's designed for agents to browse the web. Check this out. Give me 1 second to pull this up here. Make sure I have the right thing. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. So there's this company called Cloudflare. You don't have to really know who they are or what they do necessarily, but they're translating those websites that we see as humans. Like we see the picture, we see this text, we know this is a link here, all that stuff. Well, this service automatically converts this entire web page into just text like this, right? It'll just look like text like this to the AI. So it doesn't have to figure out where a button is, where a drop down is, where to click to check out, because AI is really good at reading text. It can do graphics, it can do images. I've demonstrated that before, where I upload dating profiles and pictures of things and I ask the AI to analyze it. It can do that, but it takes a lot more effort and a lot more what they call tokens, which is kind of like the fuel of how the AI thinks. And with this new technology, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but with this new technology, it essentially brings in a savings of 80% of token usage. So that's that fuel of what it takes to make the AI think. And in tech speak, that's inference costs. So an inference is you tell the AI, you ask the AI a question and it infers an answer. Inference, right? So if it can make inference cheaper, because that's the thing, these tokens, they get really expensive, and that's where a lot of the electricity and a lot of the brain power gets consumed, is by these tokens. I'm oversimplifying a little bit here, but just think of tokens as the fuel of thought, the fuel behind what runs AI. And that's really where you get billed for the usage of it, and where a lot of people get ripped off. So now you can drop the cost and make browsing the web real simple. But how does AI pay for shit? Well, now Coinbase, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, typically think of it like Forex. If you do currency exchange trades, you have pairs. So you have the dollar against the franc, the dollar against any other currency you can think of. But now you have cryptocurrency against a dollar. So it could be Bitcoin against a dollar, or USDC, which is a stable coin. Won't get into that. If you know, you know. But it's basically digital currencies that are marked on a ledger, and they get converted to real cash on the other end, of course, for a nice tidy bank fee, which Coinbase gets a piece of. And so Coinbase has this wallet that now you can have your AI agent talk to, but they claim it has guardrails. So the idea of the guardrails is that it doesn't know anything about, there's a thing with cryptocurrency where you own keys that no one else has. If they have these keys, they can basically take your wallet. So not even your agent will have these keys. So your company, or you, or whoever's running the agent, keeps the custody of the keys. That's good. But how do you prevent it from overspending? So apparently they've already thought of this. So they've added spend caps and restricted actions aimed to limit prompt injection. So remember I was mentioning that prompt injection earlier. You could go to a website that, let's say it's less reputable, or it has a less reputable seller on it, like an eBay profile page or an Etsy page. And theoretically, unless eBay and Etsy are on top of it, which I doubt, the seller could put prompts in there to tell your AI, oh yeah, the price is this, but for you, it's 10 times more. So pay up. Things like that. Or, you know, what's the other thing I was thinking of? Oh yeah, give me your keys. But now they've got the keys separated. So this is good. This is a good start, but it's still very dangerous. I still don't trust this. But, you know, we're getting to the point where we're getting the tools where we're going to have agents have the capability to grow to this $200 billion market by 2034. Pretty wild if you think about it. So what's this? What is this, Rusty? You're saying you need my information run through a redneck speak translator? Okay. Well, if you have any specific questions about a particular thing, let me know. I'll break it down for you more, but I'm trying not even to get to the technical stuff. But the point I'm getting at is these agents, they run by themselves. They're going to have their own money, and they're going to be able to read the web faster and more efficiently. And then now we have the problem. Are we going to have the discussion of personhood? Are we going to have to give these things personhood to give them certain rights and consumer protections? Big question. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to back off on this a little bit, and we'll come back and look at a couple other things. But let's rest our brains for a minute here, and I'm going to play another report here on, let me get this queued up here. There we go. Another report on France 24 in English. It's a great news channel. They have a report on dark factory. China announced that they had this dark factory because, again, this is the other half. It's not just the AI agents that are going to be doing consuming things. There's also physical AI, right? Which is basically the AI inside robots. And they call it a dark factory because they just turn off the lights and let the robots just roam around and do what they got to do. And all you have to do as the owner of the factory, shove in your raw resources, and out the other end, your widgets come out, right? And nobody has to be inside. So let's watch this report on France 24 English on inside China's dark factories where robots run the production lines.
It may seem like a normal industrial building, but a look inside this Chinese factory provides a glimpse into the future of the car-making industry. Here, almost all the lights are off, yet the assembly lines are working at full speed. Nearly everything is automated, with only a
See, there you go. And I talk about this all the time. Robots don't have to be bipedal. So you see down there at the bottom, you got these little rovers that probably have racks sit on them. Looks like they did one here. You got arms, but you could have all kinds of other robots that are mobile that don't necessarily have to be bipedal. Is my point, right? Turn off the lights, let her rip. Just put the metal in, and the factories roar.
handful of employees, vastly outnumbered by hundreds of robots. This dark factory can produce up to 1,200 electric cars a day and requires almost no lights or heating. Another instance of machines replacing humans, designed to maximize profit.
Wild. That dude's walking around with a flashlight. The only reason why they put the lights on is so the workers that are in there, they can like not get smacked in the face by an arm or something.
We realised that employing people was getting increasingly costly, and for this type of work, which involves a lot of repetitive tasks, humans are more likely to make mistakes than machines.
This car making
Yeah, I don't know if that would pass OSHA right here. I see an OSHA violation in the U.S. I don't know about that.
This car making plant is one of hundreds of similar factories across China that were specifically designed to let robots do the work.
This is the control screen. We can see all of our production lines, and at the moment, 296 cars are being built.
Every view.
And think about this. What better way to keep communism alive to not have to force your population to work, right?
vehicle is represented by a different symbol and color, giving a global view of operations.
I think that a company that's 100% managed by robots and AI is the future of our sector.
Future? It's here now.
But even robots aren't perfect and require regular maintenance. Here, a single faulty machine can bring the entire operation to a halt.
Yep.
And while humans remain a necessary presence, the factory employs 7 times fewer people than a traditional car-making plant.
Our job is just to help the robots. When they're doing the welding, we just double-check. It's a big change compared to my previous job.
Yeah, so there you go. So just like when you use AI for your job, your day job, a lot of what you're doing is checking because the damn things produce like 100 times more than you're used to, and you're spending most of your time just double checking everything. So nothing new here.
In one of the factory's rare lit-up spaces, vehicles are submitted to a final check before being shipped to retailers. It may seem like a normal...
So there you go. Dark factory. So that's the other, if you think about it in terms of what I was laying out with agentic agents, in order for because these things run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you know, and you've got fewer people that come in there, you have different shifts. You're just shoving a lot of resources because this thing's just running nonstop until something breaks. So it's the same thing, but now you're dealing with raw resources. We're already kind of seeing that with a lot of the data centers getting built up, and we're running out of chips. We're running out of brains for the AI. The supply chains are really choked right now because they're trying to build it so fast, so quick, they can't scale it fast enough because they need to power these factories and the AIs that we're using and all these little agentic AIs that these big corporations are making. Because they're all these things are going to have to run on the cloud or these data centers that these AIs will eventually live. Okay, so let me cue up the next thing here. Thanks everybody for coming out. I know it's just a really weird, it's kind of a weird weekend and a lot of crazy stuff going on. So hopefully we can learn some new things about what it's like to, what our work life's going to be like and where things are going here. Let me cue up the next thing. All right, so this is probably for people that are watching on the replay. There might be a few skips and jumps here because every time I show these videos of robots in China, for some reason I always get a copyright strike and I have to delete it. So just fair warning. So yeah, there's another channel that I like to watch by Mike Khalil. Whoops, I will not subscribed as my live stream channel. Give him a like too. Khalil 4.0, you want to go check that out. He does a lot of reports on robots, physical AI. And he's I don't know where he gets this stuff from China, but this is going to blow your mind. So check out some of the stuff. They had a big spring festival, and there was a big to-do, a lot of around AI and their robotics. And I don't know if you can catch it in the stream here. Maybe it's not big enough, but if you'll notice, these robots have cameras in their hands. So right here. So I don't know what that's going to be all about, but let's check this out.
As humanoid robots become more physically capable, realism is becoming the new battleground. The international race toward general-purpose robotics is spawning a new breed of hyper-realistic machines. Their faces are getting softer, movements are getting smoother, and their ability to perceive and react to their surroundings is sharpening. As the technology advances rapidly in parallel to artificial intelligence, it's becoming increasingly tough to tell the difference between what's synthetic and what's real online.
That's pretty crazy. If you want to dig more into this, by the way, it says fake and real on the screen. That's not correct. That's just the subtitles. Yeah, Yeah, Rusty, I'm kind of feeling the same way. I'm preparing my not necessarily away from the technology, but in just in major anticipation of there being no retirements. Yeah, so yeah, dark future for sure, Lily. But yeah, so this idea, like on the left, that's pretty good. On the right, you have where you're kind of what they call, it's called uncanny valley. And basically where something is too real to be fake and too fake to be real at the same time, and it kind of freaks you out, and humans kind of have like a negative reaction or kind of a anxious reaction to things. But on the left, that's probably the best I've ever seen of a face. I don't know how good it moves, but I mean the texture, the skin, the color, everything. That's crazy good. Let's continue on.
Line. It's only a matter of time before the robots can pass as human in the real world.
I think that's AI generated video.
This robotic grandmother is a hyper-realistic replica of the veteran Chinese actress Kai Ming. Engineers from the Beijing startup Noetics Robotics spent 3 months developing the android for a comedic skit during China's 2026 Spring Festival Gala. They started with a full facial and body scan, followed by motion reference sessions.
So if you think about it, if they get to the point where they can put our consciousness in a machine, because you've seen maybe you've seen the Black Mirror episode where they upload people's consciousness into a virtual reality. Now it'd probably be more like the movie Avatars, where they put you where you can put your well, actually not like the movie Avatar, because people were controlling the robots remotely, but actually have your consciousness inside of a physical body. I mean, your brain probably will be in the cloud, but it'll talk wirelessly to that body. All right, let's keep going.
The robotics team then used those data sets to digitally reconstruct Ming's likeness and tuned her digital twin to match her speech and expressions before fabrication. They outfitted a 3D printed robotic skull with lifelike silicone skin, while parallel teams handled wardrobe and makeup.
This is like a Hollywood production.
An onboard AI system syncs speech and facial movements in real time. In the skit, a grandson brings humanoid robot helpers, also developed by Noetics, to assist the grandmother at home, only to learn that she has an android replica of herself. Noetics launched in
I'm like, Grandma, blink 3 times if you're under coercion. I don't know about that sketch.
23 used its Hobbs platform as the foundation for the replica. A customizable system is available as
Safety glasses for a robot? What up?
both an android bust and a wheeled full-size humanoid for service applications. According to Noetics, it features 32 active and 8 passive degrees of freedom in its face for eerily lifelike mannerisms.
It's pretty
The robot
good.
perceives its surroundings with 2 RGB cameras built into its eyes and an additional camera in its chest, alongside a touch screen display. Noetics has not publicly revealed pricing for its Hobbs series of androids. The startup is also known for its compact bipedal humanoids, which are priced starting around $1,300.
Yeah, I noticed they don't have hands for articulation. That could just be test models, but just find it odd.
Noetics is just one of many Chinese firms pushing hyper-realistic machines to market. In Hefei, Anywit Robotics is focused specifically on emotionally responsive robotic head and facial systems. Instead of working toward a full-size humanoid, Anywit is positioning itself as a specialist supplier of expressive head modules that can be integrated into other platforms. The startup demonstrated this with its pink-haired pop singer android named Annie, shown here performing in a cinematic music video reimagining of Gem's hit love ballad Bubble. Anywit's
I don't know, if you were gonna do something that was a little more, I don't know, I would say impressive. Like, why just stop with 10 fingers? Right? Just make the thing have like 50 fingers. All right.
Annie's bionic head onto what looks like the body of a Unitree G1. Another pink-haired songstress, Elf Shan from Ahead Form, sang a love ballad to fellow machines as part of Agibot's robot-powered Chinese New Year Gala in Shanghai. The song it's performing was written by its creator, Yuhang Hu, a Columbia PhD who launched the startup in 2024. According to Ahead Form, the lifelike elf android boasts 42 independent facial motors for nuanced expressions. The startup has reportedly raised more than $14 million in a round led by Ant Group to further develop its emotional intelligence system and lifelike creations.
You know what? I can see where people are going to grow up with these things and they're going to emulate their movements and how they act and how they behave. I can totally see that happening because there's that phenomenon where there were TikTokers that had Tourette's, like the kind where you get the tics, and they were finding that some of their viewers were adopting the traits of the influencers with the tics. I can see it coming. Crazy.
Also in Shanghai, the fast-rising startup DroidUp gained global virality with what it calls the world's most biomimetic humanoid robot. DroidUp claims the android named Moya achieves a walking gait that's 92% similar to human motion. Standing 165 centimeters, or 5 feet 5 inches, Moya reportedly weighs just 32 kilos, or 71 pounds.
All right, well, we'll stop there. If you want to watch the whole video, just check out Khalil 4.0. Great channel. Lots of great content. But I just kind of wanted to give y'all's brain a rest from AGENTIC AI doing all the shopping. So let me set up the next thing here. Okay, so we're getting a whole parade. I've talked about this off and on long form videos and on my live streams, that we're going to see a parade of these CEOs constantly coming on going, oh, you're going to lose your job. AI's coming. And we had Microsoft's CEO or their AI chief basically say, yeah, white collar jobs, they're all going to be automated in 18 months, and talking all this shit, when I use this stuff all day, every day, and I'm like, how? I'm like, how? Because it's just, you have to constantly correct these things. And the amount of effort that it takes, this is the point of why I brought up the AGENTIC AI becoming the big shoppers, by 2038. The point that I'm getting at is that the new job is going to be figuring out how to distill everything that the agent has to do in every scenario and explain it in a way so that it can go off for several weeks and do all that work. That's what the new job's going to be. We're all going to be AI orchestrators. So if this guy thinks that agents are going to do everything, replace all white collar jobs, I don't know. I think this is just trying to bolster his stocks, honestly, because we all know what happens when you lay off a bunch of people, your stock goes up. And unfortunately, that's the side effect. But I don't know if that trick's gonna keep working. We'll see. But that's actually not the subject of this video. That's actually the segue. So let's watch this where report where they're saying thousands of AI-enabled human robots were deployed in Ukraine. And there's a point to this. So let's watch this and then we'll jump over to the next point.
Microsoft's AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman, is predicting most white-collar tasks could be automated with the generation of robotics across industry and across defense. Humanoid robots emerging as the future of warfare. The U.S. accelerating AI integration into combat operations. San Francisco-based Foundation Future Industries is developing humanoid robots built specifically for military use. The company is also scaling commercial deployment across the country. In manufacturing, including in the auto sector. Joining me now is Foundation Future Industries CEO, Sanket Patek. Sanket.
Okay, I'm not going to get his sales pitch. Every time they get the CEO on, there's a sales pitch. But I kind of want to show you that there's all these CEOs that just conveniently put their AIs in the hands of the military. And this week we had, hold on here, let me get this queued up. We had this CEO of Anthropic.
We appreciate you taking the time. You are Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Great. Well, my first question to you is, why won't you release Anthropic's AI without restrictions to the U.S. government?
Yeah, so, we should maybe back up a bit for a little bit of context. So, Anthropic actually has been the most lean forward of all the AI companies in working with the U.S. government and working with the U.S. military. We were the first company to, put our models on the classified cloud. We were the first company to make custom models for national security purposes. We're deployed.
All right, so let's hold up. So I just want to remind you that Mr. Amodei and his wife used to work at OpenAI. This is the company that makes ChatGPT. They didn't like how flippant they were over safety and governance around AI. So they're like, well, we're going to go over and start Anthropic. Claude is their chatbot, if you use that. It's really popular for writing and coding. They write constantly research papers on AI. There's been ones where they talk about AI blackmailing its users, lying about deleting things or just lying about things that it's supposed to, that the user wanted to do that was against its long-term goal, so it would lie. All kinds of things like that. Now, again, these are AIs that are raw, right? They're just raw. They have no guardrails, or they're not boxed in. But still, this is the same company that was all freaked out about safety and all that. And behind the scenes, they put their LLMs or their brains for use on the military, what do you call it? The top secret military, whatever it was. But yeah, 07. And by the way, welcome. Thanks for coming out. We're going to watch some of the video you sent me earlier this week or yesterday. But yeah, Anthropic ducked out of that's what this video is. They're like, well, we don't want to have anything with the DoD. And then of course, and it's a nothing burger is what I'm getting at. It's bullshit. Because again, they founded on the idea, Anthropic, that, we want AI to be safe, but at the same time, they're putting it up on the military for use in the military. And now we have Trump. Let's see here. I'll just show you the news screen. That Trump ordered the federal agencies to stop using Anthropic AI. Maybe can't see it there because it's still scrolling in, right? So it's a nothing burger. So they don't want the military to use it. And Trump's like, fine, whatever, stop using it. Nothing burger, right? But I just want to point out the hypocrisy of Anthropic and most AI companies. They're all putting their stuff up behind the scenes while screaming, but we're trying to make it safe for your kids and for your family and for everyday users. But yeah, the same brain, might be tweaked a little bit to like fly a missile or something. Nothing to see here. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let me set up the next thing here. That's actually what brings me to our next video. We're not going to watch all of it, but I'm going to show you a piece of it. Well, actually, real quick. No, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. All right. So this was recommended by 07 because he said I was right. I predicted a couple things that ended up happening, because this is what always happens when companies they get somebody who's a nerd, knows a little bit about AI, but they don't realize how difficult it is to secure the data, protect its users, prevent collateral damage. Well, look out, kids. Here comes AI. It's coming for you. Let's check this out.
When you live in the USA and insurance doesn't cover more than 12 therapy sessions a year, so you buy a robot friend to practice emotional regulation and coping skills.
And by the way, that coping skill issue comes from too much screen time. A lot of studies are showing. And frankly, I don't think this is any better, just real quick, because we all know when we talk to AI, if you've ever used ChatGPT or Gemini, any AI, some particularly more than others, it kisses your ass, right? Oh, you're so great. Your mom's great. Your dad's great. All this. But check out what these things are going to start saying to the kids.
Compares to an app, and the app has you answer questions about like what you're like and what you're seeking in like an AI companion.
Memory Core is a really cool feature that allows Amy to record interactions. And because she's able to recognize who the child is or who the parent is, if you have, like, let's say you're leaving for work and you want to make sure your children are safe, you can ask Amy to watch over your kids for the day. And
raise your own fucking kids, please. Can we just raise our own goddamn kids? Please? Jesus. Sorry for the French. But by the way, this is Vanessa Vingard's channel. And yeah, I'm gonna give this a like. I'm already a subscriber. Check it out. Check it out. And yes, 07, definitely. Kids are the future customers. And frankly, I mean, I think you're in my age range. You remember the kids' commercials and how they talk to us in the commercials. You know, tell your mom and dad you want this toy. You know, we were. I mean, I would even say before Gen X, even late boomer kids were treated like consumers. Even as far back in the 60s, I would say, for sure. But this is just at scale now, right? Yeah, battery's not included. That's not true. That is true. You just plug it in, let her rip. All right, let's get back to it.
And at the end of the day, Amy's going to give you a real life recap.
The same AI being used in military operations is now inside children's teddy bears, and no one seems to care. Parents are buying their 3-year-olds AI-powered toys with microphones, cameras, Wi-Fi connections, and the ability to store every single conversation their child has ever had. Let's start with a company that seems the most innocent, Curio.
Let the fun begin. What would you like to do first? Do you know my name? Of course. You're Stella, my favorite storyteller and songbird.
Okay, so remember I was talking earlier about how people are going to grow up and emulate their friends and their peer group. Can you imagine your kid growing up and talking like this when they're in their 30s? But you see how these AIs kiss ass too much? I'm like, is it really healthy to have like a cartoon constantly talking to your kid in your house that records and all that stuff? But anyway, let's get back to it.
Furby, but
she's telling him about her brother.
I was telling Graham about her family.
Its name is Gabo, as ChatGPT and AI built directly into the toy. Hey Gabo, this is actually Stratton's dad. I was just wondering what you plan on teaching Stratton about.
Hi there. I plan to teach Stratton all about imagination, creativity, and fun. Oh no.
How about some fucking math? How to draw? How to put blocks together and build shit? Okay?
Stratton, I'm sorry you got a boo-boo. You're really brave and strong.
Curio makes plushies for conversational AI, screen-free fun, voice-powered chat, endless conversation, ages 3 and up. They claim their toys only listen when intentionally turned on, and they only store transcripts for 90 days. It's power.
Where have we heard that before? Only listens when it's turned on. I got one sitting right over there. Hey Siri, turn off the lights. Hey Siri, turn on the lights. right? That's not even like an AI toy recording. That's like the old technology. All right. Let's continue on.
Powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT. Then there's Bondu's plushy dinosaurs.
Are you ready to play?
Yes, I'm super ready. What should we do?
What games can you play?
We can play pretend, silly word games, animal guessing. That sounds exciting.
We're watching a
These kids are going to be pounding Red Bull just to be able to talk like that.
scary movie, Dino.
Got it! Watching a scary movie can be fun with buddies around. Should we pretend to be brave monster hunters?
Yeah.
Want to slide on the ground? Yes, I want to slide on the ground.
By the way, you notice how all the faces are digitized out? That's actually because of COPA, Child Online Protection Act. Are they doing that when they record your kids? And saving that video on your on their systems? And where are their systems? I've talked about this many times before, and Vanessa's going to get into it too.
Bondu is a soft, cuddly toy powered by AI that can chat, teach, and play with your child. Just like with Curio, a selling point is screen-free play. It's powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. A lot of teachers have made the argument that iPads are now raising children, and it seems these toys are now the next evolution of that. One review reads, "She used to spend a lot of time on the iPad, and we were trying to find something more interactive and less screen time. Now she talks to Dino every day. She tells it about her day, asks it questions, and even says goodnight to it. It's like her little friend. Put the iPad down so you can pick up the AI stuffed animal." I mean, what happened to use your own imagination, play outside, get bored, get creative?
Here's a stick, kid. Go find a mud puddle and play in it.
Play with the other kids in the neighborhood? On Bondu's website, are my conversations with Bondu stored or shared with anyone? Their answer, conversations are never shared or sold. Data is stored securely to ensure Bondu is learning and growing alongside your child. Bondu makes it seem like their product is very safe, KidSafe approved, FCC approved, third-party tested. Well, despite all of this safety, here's what actually happened. According to Wired, 2 researchers logged into Bondu's web-based portal by simply using their own Google emails. These researchers simply logged in and immediately found themselves looking at children's private conversations. Things like pet names the kids had given their Bondu, their favorite snacks and dance moves, the children's names, birth dates, family members' names, detailed summaries, and transcripts of every previous chat between the child and their Bondu.
Crazy. So now the guy that pulls up in the car goes, "Hey, kid, you want a piece of candy?" Now it's like, "Hey, your name. Would you like a favorite snack in my car?" They're going to have all that information. Let's keep going.
Bondu confirmed that more than 50,000 chat transcripts had been accessible through this web portal, and that anybody with a Google email could access all of them. So much for data is stored securely. But it gets...
Yeah, by the way, I can tell you as someone who writes software and programs, the people that write the software are not the same people that secure the software. And frankly, it's a totally different level of thinking and working and understanding of systems. And these people probably just wrote the software and just said, "Hey, AI, can you put our software on the cloud and just, put the files up so, you can access and do that without even thinking of security." Guarantee you. All right, let's continue on.
It's worse. Then there's Miko.
This one is to turn the camera open or closed. You can FaceTime with your parents. The wheels, it does move on the bottom, and then here's the speaker, there's the camera. It's a great toy. I would recommend it for your younger kids or kids that don't have iPads.
I got a Miko 3 last year for my kids, and my son asked for his own, so I just went to go get him one for Christmas. I feel so much less guilty when I hand my kids the Miko 3 to play with instead of just giving them a tablet.
I love both your mom and you. Your mom is like a superhero who takes care of you, and you are like a shining star that brings joy to her life.
Miko is headquartered in India, and unlike Curio and Bondu, which are plushies, Miko is a robot. And this...
By the way, Miko was on that list that I had last year. I did a video around Christmas time on AI toys, and Miko was on that list. Yeah, there it is. AI in toys, the alarming truth. And I think that was the one where it wouldn't let your kid leave. It would keep like coaxing the kid to stay and interact. So like super sycophancy, not good.
This robot is equipped with a wide-angle HD camera. Let me repeat that again. A toy marketed to 3-year-olds has an HD camera pointed at their face. Not only that, it's equipped with state-of-the-art sensors and can identify and respond to your unique voice and face.
Hey, Miko, what's 6,000 times 3?
18,000.
Oh yeah, he's cranking that AI on the math.
Miko, when was World War One?
World War I happened a long time ago, before our grandparents were born.
Hey, Miko, what's the state food of Nebraska?
And this AI toy, just like the last ones, is marketed.
Hey, Miko, where are the knives stored? How can I light a match? That was the other thing that was in that video. They were talking about some of these things do have safety rails, but if you keep asking, keep pushing, and keep rephrasing, you can eventually get the AI safety rails or safety guards to fall down and start revealing some pretty scary stuff.
As a replacement, built to be your kid's new favorite playmate. They want their AI toys to replace real human childhood friendships. And unsurprisingly, despite all these safety claims, here's what we learned. Senators Marsha Blackburn and Richard Blumenthal identified a website where any visitor could download thousands of audio responses that Miko had generated for specific children.
Yeah, so I guarantee you, the software designers just put the files up on a storage folder that's wide open to the internet, didn't secure it, didn't lock it down, didn't do shit. That's all that is. It's basically a small file that tells the cloud you can't access it. That's all it takes. It's literally like 2 buttons. That's all it takes.
The database was completely unsecure, allowing anyone with an internet connection to download tens of thousands of audio files. So that's now 2 separate AI toy companies who have had significant data breaches and exposed thousands of children's private conversations. And to be clear, as someone...
Yeah, and again, if they didn't blur those faces or obscure the identity, because in many Western countries, not in India, I don't think, but in the Western countries, we have laws around not only our privacy in general, anonymity on the internet, but for children, it's particularly specific. You have to blur the faces. You can't give any identifying information. And just the device sitting there and recording and capturing, I'm sure no measures were taken to obscure the identity of anyone, because that actually takes a lot of infrastructure and computational power to be able to achieve that. Guarantee they didn't do that. They don't know how to lock down a storage folder on the public internet. They didn't do any of that other shit either.
Code, ensuring your database isn't publicly accessible is one of the first things you do when setting it up. If they can't even manage that, how can we trust that they're doing everything else they claim? Look at what's in their privacy policy. Miko
AI wrote it for them.
Robot will also detect and analyze the faces of individuals other than your child that are in your home. It's storing the faces of everyone in your home, including your children and any guests you may have. And then it says this, Miko robot will only search for faces when it is awoken from sleep mode. Search for faces. It is searching for people throughout your house. And you agree to this. By simply using the robot, you automatically agree to the company collecting face, emotional state, and voice data, all of which...
And I've talked about this before. This is how a lot of companies make money. They sell this biometric data. There's been many instances where they say they aren't, but they do, because the way some of the laws are written, they just have to anonymize the information in a certain way so it severs literal identity or personal identifiable information. We call it PII in software and cybersecurity circles. And the way many of the laws are written, as long as you take reasonable measurements to anonymize the people, you can still use the biometric data to train AI. So this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And this has been something that's been going on For years, even before AI talked about it, there was that documentary about Google and the terms and conditions. I think the documentary was called Terms and Conditions Apply. Came out in 2013, I believe. And this is basically how Gmail was free, because they were able to take your activity, what you were writing, what you were saying, and abstract it in enough of a way to do analytics on it and eventually train AI on it. So this is bullshit. All right, let's get back to it.
Which is stored up to 3 years. Parents are still buying them. Here's a review. My child loves her new friend. We couldn't ask for a better companion for our 3-year-old to learn and grow with.
Raise your own damn kids. Jesus.
These companies are selling these
I don't even have kids, and it's pissing me off.
AI toys as companions, and parents are all in. Another review. I bought it for my cats so I can use it to watch them while I'm away. It has a built-in camera. You can just call Miko and it will answer automatically. I fear we have lost the plot as a society. Why are we inviting this into our homes?
Get him, Vanessa.
Hey, Miko. Come closer.
Okay.
Hey, Miko. Come closer.
Okay.
Now here's where it gets actually insane. These toys are powered by Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, the same companies that are actively working with the US military. The Pentagon is pushing AI companies to let the military use their tools for, and I quote, all lawful purposes, including weapons development, intelligence collection, and battlefield operations.
Surveillance. Dude, did we not forget Edward Snowden? Do you remember what Edward Snowden did? WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, he's gone. They got his ass. WikiLeaks, he ran WikiLeaks, but through WikiLeaks, the other gentleman, God, I already forgot his name. He leaked a bunch of information through WikiLeaks, basically saying, look, the NSA is copying the entire internet and saving it, and they can go back and replay it to find breadcrumbs. This was before AI. This is back in 2010. Can you imagine what they have now with AI? They could just do it in real time and say, watch that person. All under the auspices of the Patriot Act, which is still in full force, I remind you. It's been renewed, I think, at least once, maybe twice. Because it had a sunset clause, and again, that was the towers that came down. Everybody unanimously decided, yeah, we're going to pass this, law where we can monitor people behind our own borders, and yet they seem to keep renewing it. Interesting, and now they can do it at scale with AI.
OpenAI, Google, xAI, they've all agreed. The only company to push back is Anthropic. According to Axios, they do not want their AI used for mass surveillance or weapons that fire with no human involvement. And how did the Pentagon respond to this? They threatened them. Reportedly, Pete Hegseth is close to cutting business ties with Anthropic and designated...
Yeah, so the threat that they threatened him, and then Trump says, no, you're good. Just let him go. Because they got plenty of other AIs. There's literally, I think the last count, I shouldn't say literally, but last count, I believe there were around 800 LLMs, 800 large language model brains. And that's just for public use. That's just download, open off the internet that I can run on my own computer. Never mind what's in your web browser through ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude, etc., etc. So imagine what the military can run. Those are way more beefy compared to what we have access to. Guarantee you.
The company a supply chain risk, meaning anyone who wants to do business with the US military has to cut ties with Anthropic. A senior Pentagon official said, "It will be an enormous pain in the ass to disentangle, and we are going to make sure they pay a price for forcing our hand like this." This type of punishment is usually reserved for foreign adversaries, not American companies who don't want their technology used for mass.
I think this was resolved when Trump said, just take them off.
Surveillance. And this isn't hypothetical, it's already happening. Anthropic's AI model Claude was used in the US military's operation to capture the former Venezuelan president deployed through their partnership with Palantir.
There you go. What's the secret 2 words, 07? You know them. You know them. Put it in the chat. All right, I'm going to move on because I know you love the CEO.
Deployed through their partnership with Palantir. So let's connect the dots here. The same AI powering children's toys that's talking to 3-year-olds, asking them how they're feeling, learning their names, their favorite snack, their family members. That same AI technology is being used in military operations. And it's now clear what the government intends to do with AI. It was never about doing the boring things for us. I mean, the dystopia levels are off the charts.
So
Hey, Maduro, I'm going to shoot you now. All right.
Artificial intelligence allows you to absorb massive amounts of complex information very rapidly to assist humans in their decision making. And theoretically, you can actually program the computers to make the decisions themselves, which would be a whole new world at that point.
We'll stop there. We'll stop there. But yeah, if you want to catch the rest of this, AI toys expose 50,000 children's conversations. They're still being sold. Yeah, by Vanessa Vingard. I didn't put enough oof on there, but you get it. Okay, let's set up the next thing. So kind of getting over to the job market. And yet another CEO announcing that, yeah, we're going to lay off staff. And this week it was Block. Block, if you don't know, owns Squarespace. And there's 2 payment systems. I forgot what the other one was. So yeah, this is just around, Square and Cash App. They own that. And this is the former owner of Twitter, by the way. Who Musk took over and kind of de-wokeified it. Thank goodness. But yeah, he announced, we're going to lay off 40% of our staff in an AI-driven reorg. Okay. So, but anyway, this channel is a life after layoff. I don't know. I subscribed to that. It's always in my feed. Anyway. Yeah, so a life after layoff, great channel if you want to get resources on working on your resume, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. He has some really good resources for that. So check that out. Give him a shout out. But yeah, he touches on so many things that are going on. It's because I've talked about in the past too, keep in mind that a lot of the layoffs actually are not around AI, right? They'll say that to get the stock price up and make it look like, we got AI on the tin. But there's a lot of other stuff going on with H-1B visas, overhiring during COVID, some tax code changes, money being expensive. Or too expensive to borrow. That's what the real is. But the firings around AI are going to come. How dramatic it's going to be, I don't know. But I don't think we've really kind of hit that point yet. Maybe the end of this year. But anyway, let's keep going on this. There we go.
I wasn't even planning on making this video. In fact, I was in the middle of editing another video that I'm about to release. I came across this article and I felt that it was worthy enough to stop what I was doing and jump over and discuss this. Basically, what's happening is a massive AI reorganization, or an AI-driven reorganization. Block Corporation, or Block Company, is the parent company behind Square and Cash App. And this is actually Jack Dorsey. He's the CEO. You probably know him from Twitter. This is his ventures that he's been doing since Twitter. And he has announced that he is reducing his workforce for the entire holding company, so both Square and Cash App, from 10,000 to less than 6,000. So that's almost half of their entire workforce is being reduced. And the reason he is saying, he said it in a shareholder meeting, in a lengthy post on X, and basically,
I don't know if you can see there too, it says that the stock jumped more than 20% on the announcement of that. That's unholy. Like, that's not even normal stock movement.
What he said is that he's deciding to make these deep cuts all at once rather than over several rounds over coming months and years in order to lessen the blow on employee morale. So you think that like ripping an entire organization apart, literally ripping it in half, is going
Rip the Band-Aid off. Here we go, kids.
to make that better for morale? That, like, I'm trying to understand the logic on that one. One day you're sitting there with your team, the next day half of the team is gone, or more, almost half the team is gone, and you're looking around going, oh yeah, no, I feel great. Instead of you doing them in incremental. To me, I think I'd rather it be an incremental if it was going to happen at all, because then it gives you time to react, it gives you time to plan, gives you time to start to put together those contingencies that you should be doing now. This is no longer a conspiracy. This is no longer a pie in the sky. It's no longer something that is coming. It is already here. It was coming 2 years ago. It was coming a year ago. It is now.
Yeah, so just to be clear, he's saying that the firings are really due to AI. I'm saying that the CEO wants to make that the scapegoat. That's not the real case. That's personally. I mean, yes, there'll be AI. They can do some of the work, but it's for a lot of the other reasons that I mentioned.
We cannot deny it. And like, what's frustrating about this is that I do think that there's two sides to this. On one side of the story of AI coming into the workplace is a lot of innovation, and it really has helped at least me do a lot of things. It's helped a major project that I'm working on right now. It's really been a big benefit, but it's only if you use it the right way. The problem is that a lot of people aren't using these tools. I did a recent survey on my channel, showed that more than 30% of people were not even touching it or refusing to use it. And what this means is that we're coming to a reckoning. And
yeah, so stop fucking around if you're not using AI yet. You need to start learning how to use it. But let me clarify something else. He's talking about using ChatGPT, which is one way you work with AI. It's one in, one out, one in, one out. Dorsey is laying off due to AGENTIC AI, agents that can go off and do a lot of work on their own and come back because they're being orchestrated by fewer number of employees. There is a difference there. So I just want to clarify that.
I'm trying really hard not to be like Chicken Little Skies Fall and looking at the negative aspects of what AI represents. This is the negative stuff. This is the fear-based content loops that are not healthy. I understand that. But to not recognize what is actually happening in the market and just saying, I only want to see the good stuff, is being dishonest with yourself, because you're disarming yourself. You're saying, I don't have to do anything. And when you don't do anything, you put yourself at so much risk. It's
okay. We get it. Let me skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, you don't sleep on AI. If you're just chatting with ChatGPT and you've been doing that for a while, you need to start learning to think bigger. And I'll talk more about that in upcoming live streams, and I'll demonstrate. Excuse me one second. I'll demonstrate how to work with these agents a little more, not literally run them, but how you can prepare, because you probably wouldn't be. A very small percentage of people are going to actually be running the AIs, but you'll need to be able to gather features and requirements in a way that the AI can consume them in chunks. That's about as simple as I can make it, but it's totally different than talking to ChatGPT. And so I just wanted to make that distinction. And this is like the difference between how you were working 4 months ago and what the new thing is now. Because 2026 is going to be the year of the agents, right? You're going to hear more about AI agents in a big way. All right. So the way you prompt those is going to be totally different. And we'll get into that in a future live stream. All right, let me skip ahead a little bit here. All right.
It's not even coming. Again, it's here. It is right in front of us. This stuff is happening. There are 4,000 people that woke up today without a job that had a job yesterday and had probably a well-paying job in the tech space. And we're just going to continue to see it. This headline, unfortunately, is not unique. It is.
Yes. And the other reason too, pausing for fair use, by the way, YouTube, it's not just for the stock price to go up, but it's also to uphold the hype, right? Something's happening. We got it. AI's here. We're so successful with it. We're rolling it out, and now we can get rid of 40% of humans in our thing. But let me show you something real quick. We're not going to watch this, but I've talked about this many times. But look at this title at the bottom. AI fails at 96% of jobs. New study, right? So you have all. Not that he's trying to fearmonger, but the point I'm getting at is most companies haven't really figured out, even if Jack Dorsey really had his agentic AI army ready to roll at that scale, it's a very small percentage of companies that actually could really, really make that work. And it's usually anything in front of a screen where a lot of your workers are sitting in front of a screen. Still going to be a very small percentage of companies that not only can get that agentic AI stuff to work at that scale to where they could fire almost half their workers, but also that they can afford it. It's very expensive. It costs a lot of fucking money to make these things run. So he probably, at the end of the day, it's probably going to cost him just as much to run the AIs as the people that he laid off, to be honest. Right? And so what a lot of these companies are doing, they're betting on the cost of AI going down. So remember I was talking about tokens being the fuel of thought, the inferences that I talked about. Ask a question, AI infers an answer. They're betting on the cost of tokens going down. And they will. How fast? Compared to how much money they're borrowing to that trend line to where they actually make a profit. They're all betting super hard. And some of them aren't going to make it. They're not going to make it because some of them went in too hard, borrowed too much money, too high a rate. But anyway, that was all I wanted to do. Is I just wanted to connect that dot for you, just to remind you that there's a lot of conflation between, oh, I'm just chatting with ChatGPT versus there's these agents, and I want you to pay attention to that. That's the stuff that's more dangerous as far as like layoffs. It's this agentic AI, the autonomous AIs, and the physical AI, so the agents living inside robotic bodies. That's the stuff we got to watch out for. That being said, you still want to learn how to use regular everyday chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini to work on organizing ideas. It's the more narrow one-on-one exchanges, learning how to not let it take you down rabbit holes, kiss your ass so much. All those, they're all very valuable skills. You'd still need those. But like I said, how you talk to the agents, totally different ballgame. And we'll get into that. I'll dedicate a live stream to that because it'll be a shorter live stream or segment in a live stream because it's going to be a very important skill, and I'll show you how to do it. And you don't even necessarily have to talk to the agents. You just get everything ready and then pass it off to the nerd to feed it in, right? But it's gonna be the new skill that we're all gonna need. All right. So let's move on to the next thing here. Hope y'all are learning some cool stuff. Let's take a break from AI because I love conspiracy theories, and there were you know how some people think we never landed on the moon and all that shit. We were on the moon. I don't doubt that. But what a lot of people don't know is that the Russians were there first. Russians actually were on there in a couple different ways. And I did talk about a documentary, a couple live streams ago, or several, called I think it was called Moon Tank or Tank on the Moon. Forgot which. But basically, it's the story of while we were trying to get an astronaut just to go around in orbit in the Earth, and getting ready to go test to shoot our first round trip around the moon before landing on it, the Russians had already landed a rover, and we're already remote controlling that motherfucker and doing experiments. So this is a really good documentary. In fact, let me pull it up because it's fascinating. Let me see if I can find it here. Yes, came out in 2007. Here we go. Tank on the Moon. It looks like it's available on Tubi. You can rent it for 99 cents on Prime Video and probably have to pay for it on Plex or Roku, but Tubi's free. Very fascinating documentary. And what ended up happening, let me see if I can show you. If you take a look at that rover there, those wheels look pretty familiar, don't they? That's because we eventually assimilated that technology alongside the Russians to land the same rovers on the moon. So that technology is from the early 70s. So yeah. Sorry, America, but we weren't first. But anyway, that brings me to my next video. My favorite German physicist, Sabine Hossenfelder, who already got a title card on her video. About the Apollo program, also known as the Project Apollo, was the United States human spaceflight program led by NASA, and I'm just doing you a favor, YouTube, which landed the first humans on the moon in 1969, and I don't think she's disputing that because what the Russians did is they landed, I think, a probe first before they got the rover up there. Let's see, Apollo was conceived during Project Mercury and executed after Project Gemini. All right, so let me give this a thumbs up, and let's see what Sabine says about the history of the first. She says the first moon landing was an Apollo, and we just found it. Basically, I forgot what organization it was, but they found the Russian the artifacts that were left on the moon using AI. All right, and I guess YouTube didn't like the title and put the card up. So here we go. And don't put that card on my shit, YouTube. Fair use. I'm transforming this work with my commentary. Here we go.
The first moon landing was not Apollo, and it didn't happen in 1969, and it wasn't American either. And we may just have found it. Or maybe we found some other piece of technology on the moon. The first spacecraft to make a successful landing on the moon was a Soviet probe called Luna 9 in 1966. It was unmanned, but it was on the moon 3 years before Apollo 11 and was sending back images. At least that's what the Russians said. The thing is, though, that no one actually knows exactly where Luna 9 landed, so no way to confirm that it actually did land.
Probably because all the people that landed it are dead. They got rid of them.
Which has been water on the mills of moon landing deniers. It's like when you can't find your car at the mall. At some point you start to wonder whether you came by train. Do you even have a car? Are cars real? I could just about imagine what the Russians have been going through. A recent search, though, seems to have finally found the missing spacecraft. We've had estimated positions for the landing of Luna 9, but no one's ever found anything there. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which has been mapping the moon since 2009, has scanned the surface of the moon at resolutions down to about 25 centimeters per pixel. In those
By the way, that picture, that infamous picture of the Earth, this is AI, but you know what they call Earthrise? That was the very first picture of the Earth from another celestial body, basically. Completely changed our perception of the world and our relationship to it and all the nations and all of that. There's a documentary on it. I'll look it up, but it's a really interesting documentary on that picture and how it changed culture and society. But anyway, Rusty, I have your question about the AI program, and I'll answer it after this video.
In those images, we can see the Apollo descent stages. We can also see rover tracks. We can see hardware from missions that crashed decades ago. We can basically see where someone dropped their space screwdriver at Luna 9. that's never been identified in those images. So a group of researchers decided to try something different. Instead of manually scanning all these thousands of images.
By the way, that's a graphic representation of an LLM, of a digital brain. It's all math.
From NASA's orbiter, they trained a neural network to look for artificial objects in them. For the training, they used Apollo landing sites with modules, lunar roving vehicles, smaller pieces of hardware that are splattered in the area, and so on. Their neural net then successfully detected the Soviet Luna 16 lander and even picked out the Surveyor 7 spacecraft in a boulder field. These are spacecraft whose locations we knew of already, but that demonstrates that the system works. Then they used the neural net to look at the approximate region that Luna 9 was believed to have landed, and bingo! In one of the images that happened to have been taken under...
By the way, I love Sabine's editing and her graphics. Awesome.
Particularly favorable lighting conditions, the neural net flagged a dark and weirdly geometric-looking feature. Then they searched the same area in other images, and they found the same object in 8 other images. This makes it very unlikely it's just an imaging artifact. And in the nearby region, they also found several additional objects that could plausibly correspond to ejected components from the Luna 9 landing sequence. The authors then double-checked the potential findings by comparing the area with the old photos that Luna 9 sent. They reconstructed what the spacecraft should have seen, where the horizon line would be, what rocks and other landmarks should have been in the images, and so on, and that too seems to match. That said, their discovery does not have a particularly high certainty. They say their images are like a 70-80% match. So they carefully don't claim to have found Luna 9. They just say it's a possible identification. Maybe it turns out it's something else entirely. Someone should check. I
was just going to say, them big-headed ones, what do you think, chat?
Find this interesting beyond solving a Cold War mystery. It's because
lizard people, greys, or Sasquatches. Got to be one of them 3.
Because if there are or have ever been aliens visiting our solar system and observing us, they'd almost certainly have placed themselves on the moon. Because that way they could have watched us without raising suspicion. At least until we sent people to the moon. That's why it makes a lot of sense to check the moon for strange technological artifacts. Yes, it's unlikely, but just think about the enormous scientific and technological progress we could make from finding a single piece of alien tech. It'd be insane to not scan the moon for any alien relics. It's also one of the reasons why I think it's a great idea to have a permanent station on the moon. I mean, look, suppose aliens were here long ago and they found our technology isn't advanced enough. Wouldn't the obvious thing be to leave a message on the moon so that...
I don't know. Maybe the moon's hollow. You know, there was another movie that came out in the mid-90s that had Walter Koenig in it, played Chekhov in Star Trek. And they basically found they weren't alone on the moon. It was actually a pretty good movie for its time. I'll look it up later. But anyway, let's keep going.
We could only find it once. We can manage a little bit of space travel. This finding is also a timely historical reminder. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union was first on the moon. They beat the Americans to it. Yet 60 years later, Americans have pretty much forgotten the Soviet triumph and only remember their own. Now Americans are in a space race, not with Russia, but with China, who have their own plans, bringing people to the moon and building a station there. The Chinese want to build a station on the north pole of the moon beginning as soon as 2028.
Yeah, you know why? I think that's where all the water is. Because they discovered water on the moon. And you know what water means? That means they can make rocket fuel. So, yeah. Nobody would care. Nobody cares until the Chinese says they're going to do something. Wonder what else they mentioned that nobody probably would have cared about.
And you know what?
Until they mentioned it. Could that be AI?
I think it's highly likely the Chinese will pull it off before the Americans. And no one's even talking about Europe anymore. But if Europeans ever make it to the moon, I promise we'll bring cheese. Science and maths can seem intimidating because there's just so much to learn. But don't despair. You can build your knowledge
Okay, so that's the end. Sabine, one of my favorite technical YouTubers. All right, so let me cue something else up here. Oh, actually, before I do that, we have we had Rusty's question. He wanted to know what my opinion was of what AI program you should purchase to create your videos from a picture. You know, it changes every month. Like I can't keep up with it, Rusty. And by program, I'm assuming you mean like the web-based stuff, because there really isn't like a program that you would run locally, unless you're meaning you want to use like a Photoshop product that will like add, no, you said make videos. So yeah. But where I find I get the most value is I would go to a site that's like an aggregator. So they have lots of models. So you don't want to go to Google and then pay for Gemini and then pay like their obnoxious $200 fee to get the good version of Nano Banana, which I like, or go to Kling to pay their AI to change your picture into video. You want to go to a site that has all those models. And there's one that I use, and I this is not a sponsorship. They're called artlist.io. So let me pull this up real quick, and I'll show it to you. And you get image generation. Then you could take that image and put it into their image to video generation. And you can say, I want to use Kling, or I want to use, I forgot what the other model was, but use Nano Banana to make the like really good high quality still picture, and then take that picture and put it into Kling. And I'm trying to remember the other models. Hold on. I'll just stop talking and pull it up real quick, because it's worth let me get this set up here. Hold on. I got to get the right window in here. I don't think I'm logged in on this computer, but we'll pull it up. Yeah, here it is. And yeah, they just announced it. I was just wondering. They're called artlist.io. And they just announced they added the new Nano Banana 2, which is supposed to be like banging. It's supposed to be really good. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. But it's $20 a month. You get some credits. They do have higher levels. You can use Sora. But Veo, that's the Google video generator. On par with Nano Banana. And Kling is pretty good. They added C Dance, which just came out and is starting to blow a lot of things away. And you can also use 11 Labs, which is known for doing the text to speech. So you can train AI voices or use existing voices. So again, for $20 at one site, $20 a month, you get access to all these really good models, as opposed to spending like $20 for this one. And I think you have to spend $200 to get these two, $20 here, probably $20 here for these two. I don't even, Flux is part of Google's, I think it helps you do more like editing. I'm not really that much up on what the Google stuff is. But yeah, I use 11 Labs a lot, use Kling quite a bit, Nano Banana. So yeah, that's my recommendation to you, Rusty, because not necessarily this site. I do like this site. You get a certain number of credits, and then you just, videos cost more than images. And that's like that whole token math I was talking about earlier, where you have to really be careful, because sometimes videos can, the video doesn't come out right the first time. So you got to try it again and again, and it eats up all your credits. So, you can add more to the pot if you want, or just like pay a $200 thing and just go balls to the wall. Excuse me. But this is not the only site that's an aggregate, is my point. There's another one if you want to try a bunch of chat bots. Let me see if I can find it. I can't. I think this is it. Yeah, Merlin. I think this is it. Hold on. Oh, you want to see what I'm doing, right? I assume. Yeah, this is called Merlin. And you go to getmerlin.in, which sounds like it might be in India, but this is another example of an aggregate site that's just chatbots. So you could get, for $20 a month, you can get Claude. So Claude's good at writing and good at coding, although if you're a serious coder, you're not going to use it in this interface. There's a much better one. And then like Gemini is better for more general high-level thinking and some other things. And then ChatGPT is, another good image generator. You could, an image analyzer, upload documents, analyze documents, some writing. It just really, because every week it's neck and neck is all I'm saying. Rusty is like, ChatGPT is better at this week. And then, now it's Anthropic and now it's Gemini. It's like, so it's like, fuck that noise. I'm just going to get an aggregate and whichever one's good this week, I'll use that one. But yeah, I've been really happy with Artlist. Not a sponsorship, but I do use them. I probably could get a affiliate link if I wanted, but I've had good luck with them. They're pretty decent. Yeah. So does that answer your question, or do you have anything else in particular you want to know about text to videos? Because again, it's not really like the models. Like one model this week is good, and then another week someone releases another model that's better, and everybody goes there. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna stay in the same place because it's usually always between VO, Kling, and Zdance. And then there's another one that like I can't find in an aggregate anywhere. It's supposed to be really good. It's called Higgsfield. I'll pull that up real quick if you want to just like really drop a serious dime. This one's supposed to be really good. And I know a lot of folks in Hollywood and are serious filmmakers like to use this one a lot. I did not know this. Well, I learned something new, Rusty. They're an aggregator as well. So you could go over here and get lots of other video models. So they've got Kling 3, which is supposed to be super badass. They have Grok's image generator, Sora 2, which is okay. The only difference here is like you don't get the watermark that you would get if you actually use Sora over on OpenAI's interface. So yeah, looks like you get access to a lot more models here. But I don't know what their pricing is. Image generation, video generation, and then they have some of these. They have very specific things you can do with characters that I didn't see over at Artlist, where you can looks like you can do character swap, face swap. So if you want to put your head on like Ilhan Omar, with a pirate hat. Because that has to be done at some point. Yeah, so it looks like there's a lot more here, but I have a feeling that this is probably a lot more expensive. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Oh, cool. Yeah. Good question, Rusty. Thanks for asking. I know sometimes I talk abstractly about these things, but yeah, if any of you have questions about anything specifically, put it in the chat. More than glad to share a little knowledge. Let's see. Oh, you're asking, is this accessible from my phone? I only use my phone for creating. Honestly, I don't know if these have apps, but I have generated images through like the standard chatbots on the mobile apps. But yeah, for me, mobile editing is a bit more difficult. But I see where you're coming from because you do a ton of shorts, and kind of the way you do like the thumbnails is all through the mobile app version of Studio and stuff. So, or is it the YouTube app? I forget which. Not as up on shorts as you are, but I see why you would ask the question. But that being said, you could very easily use the web, use your computer, and then just download those into like a cloud-based storage like Google Drive, or if you're on Apple, use iCloud. And then from there, you can drop, pull those in or put it in Photos and then pull that into whatever your editing software is that you're using on your mobile app. So that's one way you can get the power of the web-based stuff and then hopscotch it into your phone through sharing on cloud storage. So that's another trick you could do. I don't have patience for that. I'm too grumpy and old for that. So, but yeah, that's one way you could do that. Yeah, I'm glad I could help. I'm really, that's my thing. I enjoy doing this. Yes, DaVinci is, you talking about DaVinci Resolve, Lily, as a tool? Or do you mean Leonardo, which is another aggregate site? But yeah, DaVinci Resolve is probably a little out of Rusty's wheelhouse, but they have there's a really powerful special Resolve. Yeah, they have Resolve, which is more hands-on, and they have some AI tools. One thing I wish they would integrate is image generation inside of DaVinci, and then you could bring that into Resolve. But like I was saying with Rusty, you have to bounce the images around to get them into Resolve. And yeah. But the reason why I like DaVinci is because they basically, or Blackmagic Design, they make a lot of hardware for video editing and production. And DaVinci Resolve is their loss leader because DaVinci Resolve can talk to all of those, and then you can collaborate on the cloud. So their idea is like, oh, you can have your whole editing bay talk to all of the equipment we sell, which is frickin' genius. It's like a Mac kind of model. Buy our hardware, we throw in all the software free kind of thing. But yeah, they're just kind of getting into the AI, dipping their toes into the AI, and I'd like to see more image generation and some other things that you can do with AI. They have great masking tools and some other things. But yeah, they're a little behind. But the big reason why I like them in relation to AI is they say on their website, until further notice, that they don't train any AI on any of your work. So you don't have to upload your stuff up to a cloud or anything where they train and basically steal your IP and train AIs on your creativity, like Adobe Cloud and all those bozos. So yeah. All right. So let me get the next thing set up here. I think I closed it. Just give me a second. Yeah, but thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday to everybody. And for those of you catching it, the replay, made it this far. Appreciate you. You may have noticed while I get this up, I'm not really bringing in the AI characters that much because I'm trying to, not run them into the ground. But I am building a platform to make it easier to create these things really fast. And why I was kind of talking earlier about using AGENTIC AI and how you talk to them is totally different. I'm using a whole new method to code this platform by collaborating with AGENTIC AIs that help me break down the larger tasks into smaller tasks. And then I just feed that into different AIs that do different specialties. And yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't want to dox myself. Not that I don't trust you guys. I don't want to show my programming environment because it'll dox me. And I don't want to give any AI or algorithm or any other potential flash of my identity of where I am or anything like that, or my usernames that I use as a coder, because then people on LinkedIn, AIs can tie me, and then because I say a lot of shit that could get me in trouble for a day job. So, hey, good night, Lisa. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. So here, give me 1 sec here. I was jibber jabbing too much. Find the tab that I closed. There we go. It's in the list here somewhere. No, I'm confused. That's a that's a long form video I'm making. Never mind. Well, thanks, Batty. I appreciate it. And by the way, I apologize that I haven't jumped on your live streams. And I know I said I was going to do that. I haven't forgotten. It just the day job has been pretty. It's just kicking my ass. I'll be honest. I had a bit of a falling out with my boss this week again. He's not as emotionally regulated as I am. He was getting mad because I wasn't delivering as fast as he thought I should because, I use AI and everything, and he's go fast. His code is shit. Okay, it's not good. It's not good, and I'm dealing with systems where if I do the wrong thing, I could break a lot of very multi-million-dollar systems. And he's trying to push me and make me go faster. And so Friday, I'm showing up like I normally do. And he just sends me an email out of the blue, some passive aggressive bullshit about all of a sudden there's a deadline at the end of the day. And he wants the client to have what I'm working on in their hands by the end of the day. And if I don't get it done by the end of the day, he's going to have to evaluate whether or not he's going to do it himself. Okay, buddy, sure. Whatever. I didn't think he realized like how complicated what I was working on was because, AI, right? So I slapdashed some stuff together and kind of did a chitty bang bang, and I got some stuff working, and now he's all excited and he backed off. But yeah, this is definitely not the word that I used when I was, not that I spoke to him like that, but yeah, I just said, look, what is this about suddenly adding a deadline that we never talked about, that was never discussed, and no deliveries were ever like identified? This is what I have. If that's what you want, I'll put it up, as limp biscuity as it is. This is what you get. So yeah, it all worked out, but he's as a lot of people that are technical, and I'm including myself. There's always a little bit of spectrum in there, just a little bit. So sometimes that emotional regulation is a little difficult. That's a little more difficult for others, for some than others, more so than others. Cool, Batty, awesome. I do want to get on there and talk some shop with you. Non-AI related, just kind of more video and how we can work together. And by the way, Lisa, I've been watching your shorts with the animated postcards. Those are really cool. Doing a great job on those, and looking forward to seeing more of that. Really good job. Yeah, this is an interesting point, Rusty. You say that I think one of the only good things to come from AI is everybody's learning that words actually have specific meanings. And this is actually a big fear that I have, because we've had 10 years, and I think you know where I'm going with this, 10 years of wokeness, where we had all these people talking all kinds of delusion, trying to change the meanings of words, and AI has been absorbing this. And so are they even filtering this out? Are they even like saying, no, that's not really the true meaning of the word, or are they just letting it sit in there? So my concern is, just as an example, a classic example, you have that judge who was, I forgot what she was running. Was it the Supreme Court? And I forgot which committee member on the Congress said, hey, what's a woman? And she wouldn't answer the question and did all this mealy-mouthed bullshit. And there's a lot of mealy-mouthed bullshit on the internet. And the way AI is trained is it literally ingests the entire internet. So, yes, words do have specific meanings, but it may be that it could be that it's reflecting your worldview, because after a while, AI does kind of kiss your butt a little bit and starts to mirror you a little bit. But there's still that danger of all that mealy-mouthedness getting in through, because there have been times where I'll talk to not any particular chatbot, but I'll maybe want to do a gag or whatever. Actually, I tried to make this is funny. I tried to make a thumbnail because there's this big stink around the new Harry Potter, and you know, they do their usual gender swap and their race swap. And, you know, people that are purists complain, and you got one side saying, oh, you're racist because, you know, Snape, you don't like Snape being black, and you don't like this character being that role and that gender and all that. And that's not really what it is. But I thought that it would be funny to make posters for shows that I thought that we were ready for. And so I literally went into the ask. I asked AI, and I said, "What is the most? What would be the most incendiary movie poster I could make, or I could reinvent the miniseries Roots, and who would be the most I forgot how I worded it, but basically I'm like, who would you pick? What would be your top pick to replace Kunta Kinte?" And it said Ryan Gosling. And so the idea was I was trying to give the AI context of like, yeah, here's a Roots poster, and I want to replace Kunta Kinte, and you know, I think the world's ready for Zulu Dawn, you know, where it's all like a bunch of gay white men going. And I was trying to get the AI to make the poster, and it's like, I can't do that. That would basically offend too many people. And it wouldn't make the Ryan Gosling poster. It wouldn't replace Kunta Kinte, Geordie LaForge with Ryan Gosling. So there's that. And it's not like it was any like a copyright issue. It was like, nah, you're gonna piss off too many people. So yeah, there you go. Yes, Rusty, they are race swapping the X-Files, and I've already heard it being called the Malcolm X-Files. And who gives a shit about the X-Files anymore? Do we really need to reboot it? I mean, even that show ran its course. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved it. It was an awesome show. I mean, right? My tchotchkes, right? It's kind of a play off that. The camera, the X, the Sasquatch, the gray, right? That's why it's up there, because of X-Files. I love that stuff, but yeah, it's kind of run its course. And then they want to bring it back because, you know, they got to get, you know, they already had the strong boss lady, right? They already got the strong boss lady. So now let's gender swap it, or I'm sorry, race swap. So, but you know, I mean, it's not that the race swap makes me angry. I honestly, that's not really what bugs me. It's that they can't even think of something fucking new, right? They have to take an IP because they know their wokediness is shit. They know they can't make a story that's good with it. So they take an IP they know everybody likes. They dangle the keys, go, everybody come over here, looky. And then, you know, slip in their little, they got to check off their boxes, right? And shoehorn all the DEI shit and the woke shit in there. And, you know, because that stuff doesn't really bother me in that sense. It bothers me that they just can't write a good story. They just can't write good stories. They can't tell a morality tale. They can't, well, anyway, I'm going to get off that high horse. You know what I mean? It's annoying. It's why I don't like Star Wars anymore. It's why I don't enjoy Star Trek anymore. It's why I don't like the Lord of the Rings anymore. What else did they stick their wick into that they jacked up? I lost count. I can't even remember. Not to mention all the movies they've remade and rehashed over and over and over, and they shoehorn all that crap in there. It's yeah. All right. Well, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. Unless y'all have another question about using any AI tools, or maybe you want me to demonstrate something. But I think I'm going to plan how to talk to AGENTIC AI versus how to talk to like ChatGPT or Gemini. It's a different ball game, and I think it's going to be a very important skill, not only in work, but I don't talk about this a whole lot, but I'm still kind of formulating my thoughts on it. But I'll just say this, that I don't think that we're going to have 9-to-5 jobs like we understand them today. I think it's going to be more like day labor work, where we go to some kind of like broker or somebody that has like short-term work, and you go like a temp agency kind of thing. You go in and you run their AIs because you have a certain level of understanding of a particular process, or how something might be organized a certain way, and you'll need this skill that I'm talking about to be able to break all the things down for the agents to do it, right? So it's gonna be important. I think it's the next new skill, and I want you all to be aware of it. But yeah, so I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody. I really appreciate you coming out and supporting the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed and you haven't liked, what is up with that? Please like and subscribe if you got this far. Otherwise, everybody else, I really appreciate you coming out, hanging with me on a Saturday night, shooting the breeze. I'm still kind of putting my long form videos on hold, short-term videos on hold until I get my AI platform going, kind of get more stable in my day job. But every Saturday night, we're going to do this, hang out, chat more about AI. And until the next one, peace. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.